well, I'd like to welcome everyone for joining us for the webinar, and thank you for investing some time with us today. We're going to be discussing how linking engineering document management with computerized maintenance management solution can greatly increase your efficiencies, and we'll look at what that looks like in practice a little bit. My name is Chris Chapman. I'm an industry account manager at SolidCAD covering the Accruent solutions. Daniel Isaac, who will do most of the talking today, he's one of our technical consultants. He helps customers with the EDMS and CMMS projects. Daniel, can you put to the next slide, please? So the agenda looks like this. We're going to talk a little bit about SolidCAD for those that aren't that familiar with us. We'll also do a little bit of a high-level overview on why we're talking today, and then we'll dive into a little bit on the strengths and weaknesses of CMMS specifically, and then we'll show you how that links to an engineering document management solution and what they do for each other. That will include a product demo, and then we'll have a little time at the end for Q&A, so please feel free to enter any questions in the Q&A area, and we'll be happy to get to those. So I want to talk a little bit about SolidCAD for those that aren't that familiar with us. We've been around for 25 years in business with a real focus on Autodesk solutions, helping companies design products, roads, buildings, and industrial plant infrastructure. We also offer Accruent solutions to help manage documents that are created through these processes, and then we take this information and allow you to leverage it out to your operations. As 3D modeling is taking hold, a lot of the discussions are turning around how to manage all these documents and data that get created during the design process and turn that into operational intelligence. As part of that, it's become more critical to manage data internally across departments and as well out with your external contractors during the project mode. We help with these key business requirements, and we have solutions that fit into all those areas. Daniel, next slide, please. The Solecrad Accruent team can help your organizations towards a successful outcome by leveraging our experience and expertise. What we do in our methodology includes analyzing your business needs. We create a deployment strategy that'll fit your vision. We provide training to your whole team to ensure success. And of course, organizational buy-in at the end of the day. We help you resolve any technical support issues that might happen. And really, our job is to share our expertise to ensure that your project outcome is successful. Now let's take a look at a little bit around what the situation is within organizations around engineering document management and how that is shared with the field. A lot of organizations thrive on information, including critical technical document management or critical technical documentation, excuse me. But they run into departmental silos that can often weaken the level of trust between departments and can create significant inefficiencies. Too often we see organizations wasting about 20% of field time, and frankly, that's a real number that's been out in reports in the past, but also recently customer quoted that one to me as well. So it seems to be the right number. The challenge of getting the right information out to the field to perform work can be very daunting for many companies. On the engineering side, there's a need for formal processes around workflows and approvals. They also want to get field feedback that can be critical to identifying any inconsistencies against the as-built. But as existing processes can slow this down, and sometimes there can be a lack of accountability as to who owns the documents and who's responsible for what and getting that right information out to the field. Better insight into contractor progress and structured and audible sharing of documents with contractors can help increase your project business value derived from these solutions. And it also manages contractor performance. Integration with critical platforms such as ERP, CMMS, GIS, and your design tools can also increase the business value and help you with operational efficiency. Building that single source of truth that everyone wants, that everyone struggles to get to, can really increase your efficiency around the time spent looking for documents, break down those silos, and even positively impact your HSE programs. I'm sure some of us have all heard a story where health and safety or an accident happened because wrong documentation was provided out to the field. Some of the processes that organizations tend to want better control over are listed here in the screen: metadata creation, the management of revisions, red lines and comments, ease of search, check in, check out, and also concurrent engineering. On the field side, operational workers want to consume data as easily as possible, and that can often include things like mobile access via barcodes on equipment, and that can directly link your operational team to the data that they require. And then finally, integration with the CMMS can allow for the missing link to that documentation so that your field people always get work done as quickly as possible without wasting all that time. So that's a bit of a high level view. Dan, if you want to take over and go into a little deeper dive, that'd be great.
Thanks for that overview, Chris. That was really good and a good lead in to kind of discuss today's working environment. So my main focus today is essentially focusing on what's required today out of a software package. People have certain expectations considering the fourth wave of the Industrial Revolution. People have really kind of set their expectations at a certain level of sophistication to modern software solutions. These expectations include reliance on AI and automation to improve day-to-day operational efficiency. Another critical ability today that's really highly touted is the ability to retain important data for both risk mitigation and to meet today's compliance mandates. High availability of this critical data across multiple platforms, such as mobile devices, is equally important. Also, the use of workflows and APIs is key to enable smooth work transitions across different teams and software. So our goal today is to understand how the partnership of a CMMS system and EDMS system can be greater than the sum of the parts. To understand how they work well together, we need to kind of break down the strengths of each platform and understand them completely. So let's begin with CMMS. Shown here, a CMMS solution helps your business gain a bird's eye view of asset health across multiple sites using reporting and analytics. It also helps reduce downtime of equipment through proactive maintenance schedules. A CMS can lower operational costs by giving your teams access to critical inventory and labor resource availability. It can also increase your efficiency with automation of tasks across multiple departments. I mean, that's a big challenge, enabling collaboration. You definitely don't want to silo those teams. Now let's have a look at where an EDMS system can shine. They have different strengths, and this is why they complement each other, which we'll get into a little bit further. But with an EDMS solution, you gain the ability to have full control over changes to technical documents. You add the ability to easily find the documents you are looking for with the usage of metadata surrounding these. Your team now has access to the verified latest and greatest version of these documents. Just for example, imagine how this can impact a maintenance team using an older service manual with critical errors for their maintenance work. That could be serious. That could have serious repercussions through your organization. And EDMS can make these documents available 24/7 to various platforms such as mobile devices for on-site work. So now that we understand why having a CMMS and an EDMS solutions are important, we can now look at how they become even stronger together. First, let's break down a typical CMMS and EDMS integration. So on the left here, your typical EAM CMMS solution, such as Maintenance Connection, Maximo, Ultimo, SAP, and more, provide the following functionality. This way you get access to work orders, asset equipment, procedures, and inspections across different sites and facilities. Moving on to the EDMS side of things, which is the center, there's two different interfaces we have. We're going to talk about Explorer first. So Explorer is your view-only interface or read-only that provides users with access to as-built drawings, as-built documents, both controlled and not. So this way you're able to capture important information like supporting documentation and communications such as emails within this environment. On the far right, you have EDMS, the Power, Meridian Power. This is the interface where engineering teams really focus on actually executing changes against technical drawings and documents. You get full document control. You have a complete review cycle that can be applied against these documents to meet your typical workflows. And you have the ability to add new documents or revisions to as-built drawings. So the way it works is the EM or CMMS system pushes the asset information and facility data to the EDMS system. So you have a duplicate of those assets, or you have links to those assets within that second system. So it combines them completely, and you have full access to all those assets, and it's all done through automation. As far as the collaboration between Explorer and Power, it's the same. Both of those are synced to the view only, from the Power to the Explorer, or vice versa in that scenario. So while a CMMS solution offers basic document attach abilities, adding an EDMS immediately gives you a more robust solution. Instead of storing your documents and drawings within the CMMS, you can now leverage a fully powered EDM solution and gain the following abilities. You're now using one solution to store your technical drawings and data, removing the challenge of separate file locations. So you're not struggling to find the latest and greatest file between one system or another. You know you're going directly to that EDM solution, and that's where the latest and greatest is going to be. Speaking of which, you can guarantee your teams are using the latest version of critical documents when storing them in an EDMS. Technicians can now easily access documents using mobile devices in the field. Your team can access all the EDMS-based documents directly from their favorite CMMS tool using integrated buttons. So really, there's no need to actually leave the solution that they use every day, which it really increases user adoption. You don't want them. You don't want to force them to move to a different environment. It's all done through dynamic links within the application, which we'll be demoing today. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get away from some slides and show you what this actually looks like. So I'm just going to log in here. Okay, so I've logged into IBM Maximo, a very common CMMS tool. Certainly, Meridian supports quite a few different integrations, which we'll see. So a typical management or maintenance worker, technician, or even somebody on the management side will be using this tool to see the inventory information about spare parts, availability of technician labors, the different maintenance schedules. But let's actually go to where the link occurs. So to do this, we're going to actually open up an asset within IBM Maximo. And I have a personal affinity for this particular asset. So we brought up this pump item here. I'm going to open it up so you can see that all that data that pertains to the CMMS responsibilities is there within Maximo. And as somebody that's looking for the supporting documentation, there's different ways of looking for that. You can attach documents within the actual tool itself, but again, just a reminder, it's completely uncontrolled. You don't know if you have the latest documentation, and it's lacking a lot of the ability within a EDMS tool. So now moving over to the actual Meridian solution, you can see there's actually a built-in integration here. There's a button there. So you really don't have to log into disparate systems. You can actually just select this, and it's going to launch the Meridian Explorer interface. So as it comes up, I'll quickly log in. And the nice thing here is you get all that robustness of a full EDMS solution. You're going to have the ability to see all the related documents, all the different information. Unfortunately, this guy's just reconnecting here, guys. Give me one moment. Apologies. Okay. Just going to pause for 1 sec. Apologies. it wouldn't be a live webinar without some issues for sure. Now you know if it's live. So basically I'm launching the actual Meridian solution. Once that becomes available, I'll slide that back into your screen and I'll show you exactly what capabilities are available for the Meridian server. So I'm just coming into that now. And we'll have that back shortly. So let's go ahead and launch this. Okay, just so it's smooth for you guys, I'll bring it back here and I'll show you exactly how I got there again. So we're going to that asset. Going to bring up that asset within Maximo. We're going to open that guy up. And we're going to open that up in Meridian Enterprise. Here we go. So now with the Meridian Explorer interface, so you have all relevant documentation that applies to that particular asset. You'll see that it's not just simple drawings or PDFs files. You have a whole host of information here and different file types. For example, you have a PDF available to you here. The nice thing is once you're in an EDMS solution, you have all that corresponding metadata attached to this document. So you get a nice little thumbnail so you know exactly what you're looking at. You have all this metadata attached to it so you can see what plant or region this particular file adheres to, and then as well as the bonus of a rendition. So rendition is actually the ability to see a PDF rendition of that particular document, whether it be a drawing or an email or an office document. You can actually bring that up without having the need to have that piece of software installed. So for example, let's move to this actual drawing here. So this is an AutoCAD drawing. As you can see here, with the PDF rendition capabilities, you don't need AutoCAD installed, so that saves on a lot of licensing costs as well. You have the ability to expand this as well. So we're going to open this up in a larger format here. And in this format, you can not only get a better eye look at this, but you actually have the ability to make comments. You can do redlining, and you can make updates here. So if you do need to make changes and that needs to get back to some of the engineers on the Meridian Power side, you can actually make those changes directly from here. So you can imagine how versatile this is for your organization and really enhancing collaboration between the maintenance teams and the engineering teams. So not only is Maximo supported, but there's a whole host of different applications. So I'm going to show you one more just so you can see what it looks like in a different system. So we're going to move over to maintenance connection. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like.
Just while you're pulling that together, Dan, I'll just explain to the attendees. A maintenance connection is the Accruent solution. So Meridian is a Accruent solution for EDMS. And on the CMMS side, maintenance connection is our solution, just so they have that background.
Appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and launch into maintenance connection. Exactly what Chris was saying. This is another Accruent solution and works hand in hand with the EDMS system, Meridian. So let's go ahead and open up the different sites within maintenance connection for this environment. We're going to open up this particular region. We're going to go to another asset. So there we go.
Oh, there we go.
So you're able to see the display there.
Yes.
So we're in maintenance connection now. We're actually targeting this particular asset in this region. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And much like the Maximo solution, you have the ability to actually go to the attach. So you could put documents here. Again, it's going to be uncontrolled and not ideal. But if you want to leverage the power of an EDMS solution, you can go directly into Meridian for this, where you get that full control, change management, and the ability to see all the different relevant documents to that file. So while that's launching, you'll see that it's the exact same interface as before when we were going to Maximo, and you'll have all those capabilities as well. So here's the same list of the different documents that are related to that particular tag. I'm going to open one up again. Let's open that. And just to continue some of the information that's available to you within the EDMS solution, not only do you have the ability to see different revisions, the rendition that we showed you, but you can also see the different related tags that this particular drawing or document is related to. So you can know what assets will be affected if you do make changes for this particular drawing. But that's the demo today for the actual EDMS solution. And let's continue on with the slide deck and we'll walk you through some of that. So let's discuss exactly what Meridian did to help or assist with the CMMS solution. So you're now able to find the right documents easily to view, markup, and print them. It's much more accurate than just attaching documents to a CMMS solution. Now you have as built, the current revision, and approved files only. This allows your teams to work much more safely and reduce downtime. It's much more accessible. All those complicated documentation, whether it be CAD or specs or office documents, are linked across the organization, and the right team gets the right info the first time right away. Now, we discussed some of the changes in today's work environment that people are expecting. For example, mobile usage. That's huge now. With IoT going on, people expect their data to be available, whether it be a tablet or phone. And Meridian definitely understands that challenge, and they've actually offer a Meridian mobile device or mobile application, which I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. There's some neat functionality there. So let me bring this over here. So this window is actually mimicking my phone right now. So you can see here, I've logged into the Meridian repository, much like the Explorer interface, but at a mobile level. So with this, you get the ability to see your to-do list for the Meridian EDMS side, but you can also see the different documents in that vault. And important to today's meeting, we're going to move to the asset tab. So you see all the different assets that are listed in that vault, which have been synced from your actual CMMS solution. So if you're looking for a particular asset, let's say you're in the field, you're on site and you want to have a look at a service manual, for example, for a device, there's multiple ways of doing it. You can actually see there's a full list of different documents. You can do a typical search here, or the really neat functionality here is the ability to use QR codes. So on the bottom right, you see a little bit of example. So you can actually, paste the QR code, have it on a physical asset, and a technician in the field can just scan that and get the right tool. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like right now. So I'm going to bring up my phone. So right now you're seeing the camera on my phone. I'm going to slide over to that actual QR code. And once it registers it, you will see that it should pick up the QR code right away. Wow. Try this one more time. It is normally super accurate and too quick to even see. There we go. So you see the device picks it up and it actually takes you to the exact asset that's on that particular asset, or the exact code. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So you get all that corresponding information, all that metadata related to that particular asset, and even better, you get all the different related documents here. So if I open that up, you'll see that same list we saw in Meridian Explorer. And the best part about the actual mobile tool is you're able to open them up and see them while on site. For example, it gives you the same thumbnail capability. If you click on the thumbnail, it will actually expand it out to you. Oops. So it actually brings up the full document, and you have the ability to zoom because it's a little bit tough on some phones to actually get in. So you have that full view of it. No need for AutoCAD, no need for any other external tools. It's all there on your phone available to you. And if you look along the top here, you have the full ability to do markups and information as well there. So I'm just going to close that off. And that is the demo we want to kind of walk through today, just to really kind of highlight how powerful of a combination CMMS and an EDMS solution is.
Thanks, Dan. I think we're almost to the end of the hour, but just had a couple of extra things, questions. If anyone else has any other questions, please put them in the Q&A. But I was wondering, one that I see quite a bit is on the mobile. Are you able to use the documents offline when the worker's away from Wi-Fi or signal?
So that's a great question. I'm just going to bring back my phone here. So this is the interface here. And yeah, definitely a key feature of this is actually bringing up the ability to actually download stuff offline, because it's very common that you go to a remote area where you don't have an internet connection. So what I've done now is actually move to the document view here, as you can see, and each of those are the related documents. So you'll see that little arrow on the right of each particular document. If you actually click that, it will pull down that document locally to your device, and you're able to carry that through to your on-site location. Even if you don't have an internet connection, you're ready basically to perform maintenance at that point. Good question.
Okay, and lastly, I think redlining, is that available on mobile? Seeing you have it, have it up
actually,
there ready to go. If you could show capabilities there, that'd be great.
Certainly. Let's go back to that asset. So here's the actual related documents. I'm going to open that guy up. Let's open up one of those drawings that we were looking up. So I'm just going to highlight this guy. And as you can see here, as it's downloading, along the top, you have the ability to actually create all kinds of red lines. You can actually add comments. You can highlight items. So let's go ahead and select this tool here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to mark this area. Apologize for my writing. So you can just highlight that particular item, and you can check that particular item, for example. So full redlining is supported, as well as like text boxes, highlighting, and actually text comments as well. Now it'll be applied to that particular drawing. So that carries through to the Meridian solution, the EDMS solution, as well as you can get to that via the asset documents from the CMS solution. Good question.
Great. Yeah, that's the last of it. I wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you gained some insight into what these solutions and marrying the two, what that can bring to your organization. I'll be sending out a link to the recording over the next week. And within that, we'll have contact information. If you need to share this with any of your colleagues, by all means, feel free. And if you have any additional questions, you'll have my email address in that, so that you just feel free to reach out, and I'll probably do the same just to get your feedback as well. So thank you very much for attending. Have a great rest of the day, and appreciate you spending a little time with us.